First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Kavita. I belong to Bihar. I did my graduation BE Computer Science from Lord Venkateswara Engineering College. Today I am going to explain you. First of all, I will explain you the entire core Java. The what is history of Java, features of Java, like that, and then after that overview of the Spring Boot. And I'm going to start first the overview of the core Java. First of all, the overview of what is Java. What is Java? So Java is an object-oriented programming language developed by the James Gosling at the Sun Microsystems, who is known as the father of Java, in 1995. What kind of language we can develop in Java? So Java is an internet and web programming language. Basically, we can develop a desktop application. We can develop, and then Java is a platform independent programming language. It means Java program can run on any platform operating systems like Windows and Solaris, Unix, Linux, and etc. etc. Coming to the history of Java, so all of you know the history of Java. Like the Java is developed by the Sun Microsystem in 1995, and first name is Java is OAK, and after that Java used for developing web application, desktop application, and enterprise application, web and application server, and mobile application. Let me explain history of Java. History of Java. So Java is developed by Sun Micro System in 1995, and after that Java first name is OAK, and after Java can develop first the language of web application, and second desktop application, and then third mobile application, and then fourth enterprise application, and then web and application server. Okay, this is the history of Java, and then later I am going to explain actually Java is divided into three parts. So Java Java is divided three parts. First is Java Standard Edition, and then second Java Enterprise Edition, and Java Micro Edition is third. First, Java Standard Edition, and then Java Enterprise Edition. And then third Java Micro Edition. And then later I will explain about the Java architecture. Java architecture means Java architecture. First it comes source code. And then it will come the bytecode. After first source code is source code is any collection of instructions where the human readable programming language, and then later it will convert the .java file. Once it's compiled, it's then .java, and then after compiling the source file, and then it will convert to the bytecode like .class file, and then after class file is interpreter like through the JVM, and then it will convert to the machine code. And then once machine code is run the code, and then it's convert to .object file. So I'm going to explain the source code. Human readable language. Human readable programming language. Like a plain text. And then after coming the bytecode. Then bytecode is program code that has been completed from source code into low level code design for a software. And then after it comes machine code. Once is done the bytecode, and then interpreter through the JVM converted into a machine code. Machine code. What do you mean by the machine code? Machine code consisting of machine level language used to directly for control a computer central processing unit. Okay, done. Source code, bytecode, and machine code. And then after, I am going to explain you what is the mean by the compiler. Compiler, interpreter. Compiler is simple code, like it's once is source code is run the code through the interpreter, and then it will call a compiler. Interpreter like JVM. Okay, now I am going to explain the features, some features of Java feature. Java's features. Okay, there are 12 features in Java. So one of them, like first is simple, and then second object oriented. And then third secured. And then fourth is platform independent. Platform independent. And fifth is robust. And then sixth portable, and then seventh is architecture natural. Eight is dynamic, and then 9 is interpreter, and then 10 high performance, high performance, and then 11 is multi-threading. And then 12th is distributed. Okay, there are 12 features in Java: the simple, and then object oriented, secured, platform independent, robust, portable, architecture natural, and then dynamic, interpreted, and high performance, multi-threading, and distributed. Then I am going to explain what is the meaning of simple. Like, Java is a very easy to learn, and its syntax is very simple and clean and easy to understand. This is the simple meaning. And then object oriented. Why is called object oriented? So Java basically is the object oriented language. It's follow the below for the principles, like the abstractions. First, call the AB abstraction, and then second, encapsulation, and then third, inheritance, and then fourth, polymorphism. Why Java is called secured? With secure feature is unable to develop the virus-free systems. Authentication technologies are based on the public key encryptions. This is the meaning of secure. And then why call it platform independent? So programs can run any platform operating systems, and then it can run any platform like Linux, Windows, and etc. So this is mean the platform independent. Why it's called robust? So the meaning of robust: simply means is strong, and it's robust because it's used strong memory management. This is the lock for the pointer and the avoiding security problems. So for that reasons we are calling the robust. And there is the automatic garbage collection in Java, so runs on the Java virtual machines to get rid of the objects which are not being used by a Java programming anymore, and for that reasons it is very robust. Why it's called portable? So it's portable because allowed to carry the bytecode to any platform. I mean, it's bytecode allowing to bytecode to any platforms like Linux, and then etc, etc. And then architecture naturals. Why did call the architecture natural? So Java is architecture natural because the size of parametric type is fixed for both the 32 bits and 64-bit operating system. This is fixed for the dynamics. Why it's called Java called like dynamics? So Java is a dynamic language. It supports dynamic loading of classes from others programming, so that it's dynamic. It's load the classes. Interpreter. Coming to the interpreter. So why we call Java is interpreted? Java bytecode is translated to machine code during runtime and is not stored anywhere. So for that reason we call interpreted. Why we call high performance? Which the use of just-in-time compilers and garbage collection. Java enables high performance. And the simple of multi-threading is handling the multiple threads at the same time simultaneously. So for that, and distributed, it's called Java is designed for a distributed environment of the internet. So for that we are calling the distributed. And now I'm going to explain little Java data type. What are the data types in Java? So, and what is the range of data types? So I'm going to explain. There are two types of data types, parametric data types and non-parametric data types. So I'm going to explain you the parametric data types. There are 8 parametric data types. First is Boolean, and then second is char, and then third is byte, and then fourth is short, and then fifth is int, and then 6 is long, 7th is float, and then 8 is double. Okay, I'm going to explain the Boolean data type. Its Boolean data types is called like internally the default size is 1 byte. Default size is 1 byte. 1 byte. And then used for simple flag that track true false condition. It's used true false condition. Char data type, it is store a character value. It's called like 2 byte character values and etc. So byte used to store a integral values. So it comes 1 byte. 1 byte. And it is a minimum value of minus 128 and maximum value is 127. We can store the values. Short 2 bytes. Memory text is 2 byte. And then it's store values like minus 32,768 and maximum value is 32,767. Used to the integer int data type. So this the byte is 4 byte. Its minimum value is minus 2 1 4 7 4 8 3 6 4 and 8 minimum value, and maximum value is 2 1 4 7 4 8 and 3 6 and then 4 7 and then 4 7. Long data type. It is int data type is stored for integral values. So, and the long data types is when you need to range values. So the by the time of we use long, and then it's 8 byte taken. 8 byte. It's starting almost minus 9 2 to 3, and then maximum value is 9 2 to 3 3 and 2 to 3 threes like. And then float, used to store the decimal values. 4 byte take memories. 4 byte take memories and store 6 to 7 decimal digit. Store 6 to 7 decimal digit. And then double, used to store decimal values. It considered the 8 byte and then store 15 decimal digit. Store 15 decimal digit. Okay, and then now this is all about the basic things of the core Java, and now I am going to explain the Spring Boot concept. I am going to write first of all the one Java program, core Java related program installation, how to download the Eclipse and how to write the first Java program in the Eclipse ID. First of all, if you want to download the Eclipse, you can go to the Chrome or any you users browsers, and then I can download the Eclipse ID. Network is not there. Okay, no problem. I already downloaded in my system Eclipse. I have. So the process of downloading from an eclipse.com, then here will come the options. You can terms and condition, agree, and then you can download. And then after that, I'm going to explain you how to write the Java first programs in the Eclipse ID. And now I'm going to go to write the Java hello programs. First of all, I downloaded, and then I will come to here, and then first I will create a project like Java first program, and then finish. Here created a project. My project name is Java first programming, and then after that I'm going to create a package and classes. my package I kept Java program.com. And now I'm going to explain I'm going to create a class in under the package. First, Java program. Okay, now I am going to explain Java programs. First, system.out.println, and then hello world. I'm going to run here. It's showing hello.world. This is my first program. And now this is the only overview for the core Java. And now I am going to start the Spring Boot, the theoretical explanation. And after that, the complete overview of Spring Boot, and then I will explain how to download the Spring ID and STS, and then how to write the Spring Boot first program in the IDs. First of all, I'm going to start what is mean by the Spring Boot. Now I'm going to explain. What is Spring Boot? So I'm going to explain what is Spring Boot. This is the definition of Spring Boot, and then first of all I will give the definition of this Spring Boot. Spring Boot is an extension of the Spring frameworks. Boot is an extension of the Spring framework. And now I'm going to explain the deep about the Spring. Okay. I'm going to explain the differences between the Spring and Spring framework. I'm going to explain here difference between Spring and Spring framework. Spring framework Java EE framework or mainly used for building web application. And then Spring Boot, the meaning Spring framework, the differences. Spring Boot differences. The Spring Boot framework is mainly used to develop web application. And then after that, the main features of the Spring is dependency injection. And coming to the Spring Boot, the main features of Spring Boot is auto configuration, or it automatically configures the classes based on the requirement. Configure the classes requirement. This is the differences of Spring and Spring Boot. And after that, I am going to explain 2 lines of advantage of the Spring Boot. Advantage of Spring Boot. First, I will take first example of advantage of the Spring Boot. The production ready Spring application possible with Spring Boot. And the most important, no XML file, no XML configuration file required. First of all, production ready Spring application possible with Spring Boot. And then after, no XML configuration file required. And after that, this is the annotation based development. Annotation based and Spring Boot easy to understand and develop Spring application also. And then Spring Boot used for rapid application development. Spring Boot used for rapid application development. Spring Boot, it is very easy to integrate Spring Boot application and with the Spring modules like Spring DAO and Spring ORM, etc. Spring Boot provide command line interface tool to develop Spring application and command from very easy and quickly also. It is very useful to develop the RESTful web services. Spring Boot, very useful to develop RESTful web service. And Spring Boot reduces boilerplate code. It means writing more code for few changes. And then one is that the Spring Boot is dependency management also. And then first call the Spring Boot dependency management. Spring Boot dependency management, why called? Every releases of Spring Boot provide a list of dependencies that it support. We need not to specify the version of the other dependencies. Like once Spring Boot version is specified, then Spring Boot automatically upgrade all other dependencies versions. This is the useful of Spring Boot dependency management. And now this is the very important the topics I'm going to the APIs related things. And I'm going to explain under the APIs package and Spring application, get beans, and regarding the annotation also. So first I will take in that package, and there comes package org dot spring framework dot boot, and then one is come org dot spring framework boot dot auto configure. And the third package org dot spring frame dot context. Now I am going to explain the Spring application. This class is used for Bootstrap and launch a Spring application for a Java main method. Configuration application context. This class is responsible for initializing and configuration assuming the Spring Bean. What is the meaning of get bean? Get bean method. What is used for get bean method? This method will call the Spring Bean classes. This method will call the Spring Bean class. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the annotation. Annotations. So yes, first I am going to explain the Spring Boot application annotation. And then second, what is the meaning of component annotation? And third is okay, the meaning of Spring Boot application. So this application, this annotation does configuration the auto configuration. And then the meaning of where we use the component. It is a class level annotation, or it is used to mark a Java class as a bean. It is a class level annotation, and it is used to make a Java class as a bean. This is about the annotation. And it means and then the another annotation is there are a number of annotation. Where we use the controller annotation. Controller annotation. Controller is a class level annotation. It makes a class as a web request handle. It is often used to survey web page. It is mostly used with annotation request mapping annotation. This is very big, actually, the definition. The controller annotation means class level annotation. It marks a class as a web request handler. It is often used to survey the web page, and mostly used with request mapping annotation. This is all about the annotation, and now I'm going to write a first Spring Boot programs in my STS. So now I'm going to first the spring initializer. Okay, there is no internet connection. Basically, we use for the spring initializer to develop our first spring boot applications. And now I'm going to first we need to write a first spring boot application. We need setup. So the setup I'm going to show here. This is the Eclipse. First, it's STS downloaded in the Chrome. Here you can go and download the STS, whatever the operating systems do you have. So in my system I already downloaded in the Windows and then versions, and then here, and then after I'm going to launch the STS. Go and extract here. And then I'm going to open my STS. And before that you build a project in Spring Boot, we need JDK 17 in our ID set, and then write the Spring Boot first programs. I'm going to show you in my lab. I'm going to go to the C driver, and then after go to the program files, and then Javas, and then here having JDK 17, JRE, and then JDK 8 also in 17. If we write a Spring Boot first program, we need JDK 17. So already in my system, so I'm going to use here, and then after that I'm going to back. The Spring path, and then Spring downloaded the ID, and then STS, all are in the same location, and I kept here in the downloaded file. Here is my tools, and then in this location I'm going to develop a programs. So first this is done, and then I'm going to write this, and then first project we need to develop, then set up a Maven project, and then Java, and then after that the versions of the Spring Boots like 3. This is the the latest versions here, automatic selected, and then project meta. This is the group that were the names. First, Spring Boot programs, and then the packet kept here over the Spring Boot, and then this is the package. Spring boot and then pack. Then we set up a jar file or var file according to the project, and then here we automatically jdk 17. So now I'm going to dependencies adding. I will add here. So first we will add what here the dependencies we use for developing what type of application we want to develop, what the module we want to develop here. So I'm going to develop here the web, build web and including RESTful and application using the MVC and Apache Tomcat servers. So I'm going to use this. And then now I'm going to generate. Yeah, it's generated. Now I'm going to open zip file, and I will go to the file and then here, and I will extract here. Okay, now work is done. Actually our ID and this project is same location, then it will going to a work. So now I'm going to, already I downloaded in STS, so I'm going to launch this, my STS. It will take time to open. Once it will open, and then I will show the execution part of the first program of Spring Boot. Yes. Okay, now I am going to set up here how to upload our project, our writing the code here, how to upload here. So I am going to file and then open project from file system, and then now I will take the path of where my project in downloaded, and then here is the folders. So I'm going to select, and then I am going to the here setup, and then Maven, and then I'm going to finish. It's downloaded here, updated the Maven project. It will take time. It will take some time. Okay, execution is done. Now here shows like JDK 17 is here, and then Maven dependencies all jars here. And then here is this is I uploaded the project in the STS, and this is the I am done with the setups here, and if in case I executed the programs, and then it will run. First start a Spring Boot using JDK 17. Here the information what I set up in the, and then which location have my STS, and then JDK, and all paths here, and then the Tomcat initializer, and its port takes 808, and then the Tomcat is starting then starting Tomcats, and starting the range also, and Apache Tomcat for this is the versions, and root Tomcat is started on the port 808. So this is the my first program. This is all about me. Thank you so much.